each week, we welcome to our NfG stage one of our highly talented members or special guests to bring you something designed to help you and your business. Our next guest began over 36 years ago as a salesman and sales leader with a long career working for blue chip companies such as IBM and GE, as well as many smaller cloud-based software companies. And he even founded and ran his own software company. Running both regional and global sales teams, he identified an opportunity to help SMEs benefit from his skills as a strategic sales coach, or a sales strategist and coach, to be more precise, helping them grow their revenue by working with them to define or refine their strategic sales and go-to-market plan, ensuring all key stakeholders agree and are engaged with the plan before training and coaching the sales team to ensure success. If you've ever asked yourself the question, what stops potential clients buying from you? This could help steer you towards your answer. With a talk rather intriguingly entitled, The Case of the Two Missing Words, we bring to you Andy Buchanan.
So the case of the two missing words, you might have guessed that my favorite genre is murder mystery in terms of books, films and TV, hence why I chose that title. Other than that, there's no other reference to that genre, so that may please you or disappoint you. The question that most of us get asked after what's your name is always what do you do? In social settings and work settings, it's always the second question you get asked. And in a work setting in particular, which is what I want to concentrate on, how you respond to this question, the first thing you say is really, really important. To swap analogies to sport, Stephen Hendry playing snooker, he's lining up his shot, but he's thinking the second shot and the third shot after this. So what he does here will affect what shot he can or can't take next, and the one after that. So it's an incredibly important response to a very simple question, what do you do? Statistically, here are the four most common answers. Firstly, I am a doctor, website designer, transformation manager. Secondly, most common is we make cakes, we make computers, we make cables, we make whatever it might be. Thirdly, we are the largest law firm in London, for instance. And fourthly, we do the accounts for all the Premiership football clubs, or we do website design or IT support, or we do all the life insurance for XYZ. Now, whilst all of these will be true, and there's nothing wrong with those at all, what you've said will now determine what response you get back. And often what we get back is the response, that's interesting. And of course, the problem with that is, as we all know, that's interesting can just mean, wow, that was really boring, really unimportant, but I'll be polite and say that's interesting. And then they'll change the subject. But sometimes they will actually say, that's interesting, tell me more. That's fine. But if you've just said, we're the largest law firm in London, for instance, tell me more, you'll end up talking about largest law firms in London, or maybe London, which may be great, but may not be getting you any closer to winning any business. What you're really wanting to hear is, that's interesting, tell me how you do that. But of course, some of those answers we've looked at don't lend themselves to someone saying how. It just lends itself to saying, that's interesting. And the problem is, there are two missing words. The customer has asked you, what do you do? But what they really mean, and they think you know this, and it's unsaid, actually you could probably say there's three, but we'll concentrate on the two. What they really mean is, what do you do for us? Or what do you do for me? You've probably all know the acronym WIFM, what's in it for me? It's all about them. So they don't say it because they think you know. So what they're trying to work out is not what your title is or what you make, but what's that going to do for them? What's in it for me? This one I love, me, me, me. What exactly is in this for me that I should care about? What's in it for me? 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 I think I've thrashed that to death, so we'll move on. But it is all about them. And if you don't do it, you're leaving them to join the dots. So you're going, I'm a business transformation manager. So they're thinking, right, business transformation probably means saving money, probably means efficiency. Yeah, I think we've got one of those projects going on. So yeah, let me join that up. Yeah, it probably is worth me carrying on this conversation with Bill, Brenda, Andy, or whoever. Great. That's interesting. Tell me more. The reason it's important you get that value across quickly is because if it's a speed dating, business speed dating, they may go off and talk to other colleagues. And as we all know, sign off, thanks to COVID, most managers now in big companies only have a £2,000 sign off. So more people are going to have their eyes on a potential new partner or new supplier. So having someone be able to articulate what you do when you're not there is really, really critical. So let's look at what I do. Some of you know that because we've just been in a room together, and some of you do this already. Some of you do it well. Some of the ones we heard followed this sort of way of doing it. Some didn't. When someone says to me, what do you do? I may give my title, I may not, but I always say, I help companies make their sales teams up to 20% more productive. And guess what? 99.9% of the time, I get a how. Even the ones that think I'm arrogant and don't believe it, they still want to know how can this guy say this, even though I think he's being classic arrogant salesperson, whatever. Others are very intrigued and others are like, wow, tell me how. But you have a key here you can do. Hold the question and ask one back. So when I say the how, it's going to be more specific. So I always do this with my hand. Let me hold that question. I'll come back to it. And in this case, for this example, I'm going to say to them, how many deals do you have in your pipeline that have been there for 9 months and should have closed 6 months ago? Nearly everybody goes, oh yeah, at least 10 or 20% of my pipeline or whatever. Always get that response from sales leaders. I can then go, okay, how do I do it? By ensuring the sales team focus on the deals that can close rather than the ones that can't. Again, they'll say, how? I'll then ask another question. Hey, what type of methodology are you using now? Some will say none, others will say Salesforce, whatever, but we don't use it properly. It gets annoying because salesmen don't fill it in. So I'll go, by using my proven qualification methodology alongside my 36 years of experience to identify the real opportunities in their pipeline. At this point, I'll either nip into an example or they'll give me an example where it isn't working for them. And so, of course, suddenly now I'm in dialogue because I've started with something that's of real value. So what does that all mean? That's called a sales value proposition. So you should be able to say that your services, and there's a whole raft of services here, you should be able to say that somebody or a company will be able to do something, in my case, make their sales teams more productive by an amount, in my case, by up to 20%, through the ability now for them to professionally qualify out the opportunities that are wasting their time and qualify in the ones that they can close. Using my future consulting skills and services for a cost of X, and then assumptions. The assumptions can be here. This can be a way of getting more business by saying, I'm assuming that you want everyone trained here, including pre-sales and other people, or you can say, look, you will only realize the benefits I'm saying if you implement what I do. And to that end, if you want, I could come in every month and coach, blah, 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 blah. So there's your sales value proposition. And so in conclusion, it's about what can you do for them. It's all about what's in it for me from their perspective, and think 3 shots ahead.